we have under our Constitution. It's important to go back and read the text of the First Amendment. So you can actually say that a government official is acting criminally. That's protected by the First Amendment. If we lose the First Amendment rights, then heaven forbid we lose the right to freedom of the press. We lose the right for me to appear. We lose the right for you to speak.
You're not allowed to use speech. You're not allowed to use speech, though, in order to get somebody to commit a crime. And what he was directing Raffensperger to do was to
advocate.
So you have to. You're saying he didn't commit a crime.
You haven't read the cases because, for example, you can encourage someone not to register for selective service. I could see you, Chuck, registering for Vietnam, and I can go up to you and say, Chuck, don't register for that war. It's illegal.
And I violated the law.
Keep walking. Go home. No, that's protected speech. My speech is protected. Right. That's the point.
You coerced me to violate the law.
I can ask you. No. And by the way, there's a Supreme Court case. You got to read it. Right on point, Hammerschmidt, and it says that's not illegal. We can have this discussion, but people need to start looking carefully at what our country stands for, what the Constitution stands for. It applies to President Trump just like it applies to everyone else. If we eviscerate our First Amendment rights, we will no longer have a country where people can freely speak their minds.
Have you been able to find any evidence? I know the campaign paid for 2 studies that didn't find any evidence that would find enough fraud to overturn the election. Have you found any evidence yet? Because you have said you plan on relitigating the 2020 election, and nobody has found any evidence to back up Donald Trump's claims, and it's been 2.5 years.
We will be litigating the 2020 election because much of that has not been litigated, but what we do know, which is not in dispute under any circumstances, is that local state election officials changed the rules in the middle of the game. They sent out absentee ballots.
Hang on. I understand. You said this a few times.
You asked me a question that you're not allowing me to finish.
Mr. Laura, all of this was litigated.
You're like the Biden.
No. Don't get politics with me.
You don't understand.
I've allowed you to filibuster a lot.
I'm getting legal with you.
All of this, Mr. Laura, every single. Go ahead. You're trying to make you're trying to create a confrontation for no reason. But go ahead.
No, I don't want to, Chuck. I'm just trying to let you know that the criminal rules are different than what you're talking about. In a criminal case, the government has a burden of proof. We don't have any requirement to prove anything. All we have to do is put the government to its test. And one of the things that will be shown at trial is that there were these institutional anomalies where state election officials unlawfully broke the law. And Mr. Trump was entitled to petition government and assert that he was right. That's part of the First Amendment protection. We don't have to prove fraud. People don't understand that. All we have to do is that President Trump was acting with his conviction that this election was conducted improperly.
Right. I just want to let viewers know that everything you've said and all that, he actually went to the courts. All of this was actually deemed legal. That was done in the states. All of this was, but look, we're not debating this. I got one last question for you.
False.
I need to get you to react to what your client is saying about the prosecutor. Here's what he said last night.
Deranged Jack Smith. He's a deranged human being. You take a look at that face, you say, that guy is a sick man. There's something wrong with him.
Do you believe he's deranged?
President Biden, in April of 2022, said he wanted President Trump prosecuted and he wanted him out of the race. He repeated that in November of 2022. As a result, President Biden has put in motion a political prosecution in the middle of an election season. And obviously, everything is open to politics. I'm not involved in politics. I'm just representing a client. I'm ensuring that justice is done in this case. President Trump is entitled to his day in court, and he'll get it.
Right. Do innocent people attack prosecutors?
This is a political campaign right now. This prosecution was instituted by President Biden, and in the middle of that campaign, people are going to speak out. My role is not to address anything about prosecutors, but I will say this. There has been a history in the Justice Department of rogue prosecutions. They went after Arthur Anderson, a major accounting firm, destroyed the company, and the DOJ lost 9-0. They went after the former governor of Virginia in a prosecution, a Republican governor who was convicted unfairly, reversed 9-0. And now the Justice Department, the Biden Justice Department, is going after a former president for acts that he carried out in fulfillment of his oath as president of the United States.
Are you confident that the former president can be trusted with discovery and isn't going to weaponize what he learns about Mark Meadows or others who may be cooperating?
Well, I'm shocked, and I can find you a lawyer to address this, but I'm shocked that all the news media outlets aren't protesting what the government is trying to do. They're trying to say that we have discovery that's not sensitive, but we don't want the press to hear about it. And Mr. Trump, our team is saying, President Trump is saying, that if there's evidence out there that the government has that's exculpatory or informative, then the press has a right to know. But the Biden administration doesn't want the press to know that. And I'm shocked that there aren't petitions now filed in the district court opposing what the Biden administration is doing.
John Laurel, the defense attorney for the former president, appreciate you coming on and sharing your legal perspective with us. Thank you, sir.